Hello, everyone. Welcome to Psychology of Play Week 1. I'm your instructor this month. My name is Ann Ovison, and I'm excited to have you all in my class. So for this video, I just want to give you a brief overview of the class, a general layout, and then go through Week 1 with you all. So when you log into our class on the platform, this is the screen you will see. I do encourage students to click on the Getting Started tab. Go through that first. There's a video about your instructor, how to get in touch with me outside of class. I do have a Google Voice number where I can accept calls and texts as well. There's also a Troubleshooting and Resources tab, and there's a Getting Started with Mobile Devices tab. So if you are using a mobile device to complete your assignments throughout the month, that particular tab will give you some great ideas for how to create your assignments and presentations throughout the month. So that's the Getting Started tab. Nothing you really need to submit for that tab. So for week 1, normally we have one assignment due every week, and that would be the discussion board assignment. So it's a discussion-based assignment, and that is due on Sundays. In week 1, however, we have an extra activity, because we like to be extra in this class, that is actually due on Wednesday. So if you can glance here at the middle of the page, you'll see the 1.2 call to adventure is due Wednesday. And this is just kind of a pre-reflective piece that we ask students to complete. There's no preparation you need to have done ahead of time, no reading. You can actually take it right now and answer the questions if you want to. Basically, it just asks you a series of questions about why you're excited about your industry, what you hope to accomplish here at Full Sail, how you plan to collaborate with others. What does play look like for you, right? Is it video games, music? How do you play? And all that good stuff. And it just helps us get to know you all better. So that is due Wednesday. So it's super easy to complete. Shouldn't take you very long, only 5 questions. So coming back to the week 1 board, as I said, our main assignment every week is the quest discussion. That is due on Sundays. So you have to complete that assignment and then also respond to a classmate on the discussion board. So in between that, we also have our readings. So I do encourage you all to please make time for the readings because your quest discussion assignment is based on those readings. So please make time for that. So all of our readings are housed here on the platform that you can see right there on the screen. And we also have an optional audiobook. So if you prefer to listen to the readings instead of reading through them, you can certainly do that as well. So just make sure you do that before you try to tackle the quest discussion. So every week in this class, we have a quest discussion where students get to choose from 2 different quests to complete. We usually have a choice of 4 to 5 quests every week, and we ask students to choose 2 from that list. So we do give you some choice in which ones you want to complete. So when you open up the assignment, this just gives you a brief overview of what it looks like. There's also a link to the week 1 quest document, and that is where you will find your quest selections. So like I said, every week you have a variety to choose from. So week 1, this is what it looks like. The creative space quest, which is where you will either design a brand new creative workspace for yourself. It can be a virtual, a digital, or it can be an actual physical workspace. For example, let's say you want to clean up your studio at home, or maybe you have a home office, or maybe you're doing your assignments from your bed and you would like to have another spot to do those. So the idea behind this quest is that you're either going to transform an existing space you have or create a new one from scratch. And then you're going to show us the before and after picture of that. So sometimes students choose to do it virtually. I have students do their creative spaces in The Sims, Minecraft, anything that allows you to make your own living area. So that's a creative space quest. You can see here this student chose to do a physical representation of their space. So she obviously shows her before and after. She did not have a large area to work with, but what she did show us gave us a great indication of her interests, what she likes. She's obviously a reader, photographer. She's into Harry Potter. So that was what her space looked like. Your second quest choice in week 1 is to complete something called the weekly plan. We offer this actually as a quest choice every week for students. The idea behind this is to create a schedule for yourself for that week. In all these 4 categories. So you're going to have your work priority category, your play category, what you plan to do for fit and wellness, as well as a push goal that you have for the week. So the idea behind a push goal is just sort of something extra that's pushing you towards professional personal growth in some manner. And then there's a series of questions to answer at the bottom. So for this quest, we do have a template over here where it says Quest Project Week 1 template. You can just download that. It's in Microsoft Word format, and then you can just click on the boxes and fill in your activities. So that's Quest 2. Quest 3 is an option to do what we call a adulting quest. So this one is kind of fun because what you're doing basically is taking an activity that you really loved as a kid, whether it was Legos or maybe, having tea parties with your stuffed animals, and then you're reimagining that as an adult version of something that you do now. So examples include, if I show you this student's, she enjoyed tea parties when she was younger with her stuffed animals, and then her adult version of that is to actually host and plan events, things like brunches, wedding showers, things like that for friends and family. So that's sort of her adult version of that. And this student did something very similar. So you can view all these examples on the Quest 1 page, on the Week 1 Quest page. And then the final choice is to do what we call a play personality quest. So this one's kind of fun because you get to, after you read through the readings, you get to decide which play personalities best reflect your own. So there's actually 8 in the readings. You only have to pick 1 or more. You don't necessarily have to choose 3, just whichever one or ones you feel best reflect your interests. And then you're going to draw a crest to represent those play personalities. Now, you can hand draw it, you can sketch it like this student did. The student happened to be a tattoo artist, or you can create a virtual version of it. If you're so inclined to do that. I know a lot of us think we aren't great artists, even though I think we're all good artists. But if you want to do a virtual version of that, that's fine as well. So for Week 1, then you're choosing 2 of the quests from this list. 2 to complete. You're going to create them, right? Taking your before-after images of your creative space, typing up your weekly plan, creating your adulting presentation, and then also your play personality crest, if that's one of the ones that you want to choose for this week. So save your 2 quests somewhere on your device. Take a screenshot of it if you're afraid you're going to lose it. And then those 2 quests you're going to actually upload to the Week 1 Quest discussion board. So I know you guys are asking, well, what can I do to create these? I don't have access to a whole lot of stuff. So these are all things that students have access to through the Microsoft Office 365 software that you all have access to as a student. So this one was created virtually. So obviously they chose to do a virtual space, and you can choose whichever software or app you would like to create that. Or if you do it in your actual physical space, you do need to take a before and after photo and upload those. The weekly plan template is Microsoft Word document. So again, you all have access to that software. The Adulting Quest, these 2 presentations were created using PowerPoint. So you all do have access to PowerPoint, but you are welcome to use any kind of presentation software that you wish. It doesn't necessarily have to be PowerPoint or Keynote or anything like that. So there's Canva, there's all kinds of resources out there that are free to use. So you definitely shouldn't have to pay for any kind of presentation software. And then this one again was created, this student sketched it, took a picture of it, and then that's what he submitted on the platform. So if I go back to our Week 1 Quest discussion, so again, all of those choices are in this link right here. So every week the quests change, right? You can do the weekly plan every week if you want, but all the other options change. And that just gives you a variety of creative things that you can do. So we like to call them quests because they really are quests. Outside of the basic directions on the platform, it's up to you how you want to present that particular quest, what form you want it to take. So there's a lot of creative freedom involved in these quests. So once you do your quests, right, you're going to save them on your device, and then you're going to answer each week 2 paragraphs on the discussion board. So every week there's the 2 quests, and then there's paragraphs A and B. So paragraph A asks you about, which 2 quests did you complete? And then you have to choose 2 concepts from the reading that connect with your quest experiences. And then paragraph B, you're just reflecting on the process, right? So for Week 1, what parts of your quests in Week 1 were kind of playful, creative? What did you enjoy most about it? And then what is one change you can make next week to add more enjoyment or meaning to your experience? And then once you answer the 2 paragraphs, you're going to submit the 2 quests in the 2 paragraphs on the discussion board. Okay, so the 2 quests in 2 paragraphs right directly on the discussion board. And then your final step in this assignment is to respond to a classmate on the discussion board. So please don't forget to do that, because that is worth 10 points every week. You can respond to a classmate first before you submit your work. So if somebody has already posted their assignment early in the week and you want to get that peer response out of the way, you can certainly respond to a classmate first before you post your work. So I mentioned in paragraph A that you do have to have done the readings, right, in order to examine the course terms, figure out which ones you want to use. So every week at the very bottom of the instructions for that week, we put all of the terms that are in that week's reading. So these are all the week 1 course terms. So you can choose any 2 from this list, and then that is what you will answer in paragraph A, where it asks you to pick 2 concepts, define them, and show how they connect to your quests. So again, just choosing your 2 quests to complete, right? Deciding how you want to present that, and then you're answering these 2 paragraphs, and then you're putting all of that on the discussion board, and then again, you are also responding to a classmate, okay? So like I said, every week the quests change, so it does add a little bit of variety. You're not really producing the same thing necessarily from week to week. I do encourage students to go through the weekly module just as it is on the platform, right? So you want to, obviously check out, welcome to week 1 or welcome to week 2, whatever week it is. We do have an open office hour every Wednesday that you are welcome to attend. You can get a question answered in 5 minutes, and then you can check out of that, so you don't have to stay for the whole hour. And then, very important, we do have live lectures every Tuesday from 1 to 3 p.m. That is Eastern time. So if you are not able to make it, don't worry. I know a lot of students work or have other things going on during that time. We record all of those lectures, and right after we record them, if you look over here on the left-hand side and you see all those tabs, that left-hand column, if you click on meetings, it will pull up all of the recordings. So if I click on past, you can find every week's recording in here, and you can watch it, and it also includes a transcript to it. So if you're ever not able to attend the live lecture, don't worry, everything's there. So I do want to also draw your attention to the announcements tab. This is very important because this is where we share things like examples with you, in case you're wondering, well, what have other students done for these quests? What is the teacher expecting? So I always include examples in my announcement every week so that students get a good idea of what an example, for a week 3 or week 4 quest or whatever looks like, just as a guide to go by. Okay, so that's pretty much the class in a nutshell. Like I said, getting started tab, please do read through that. Week 1, and then weeks 2, 3, and 4 basically follow the same layout as week 1. So if you get week 1 down, you're golden. Week 2 is the same format, right? We have open office hour, we have the live lecture, we also have the readings, and then of course you have your major quest discussion in week 2. So everything is on the discussion board. We also have optional readings that you can see down here every week. There it is for week 2, and we have optional readings for week 1. Don't worry about having to complete those. It's optional, so it's not mandatory that you all complete those. So I do want to say welcome to the class again. Welcome to week 1. And if at any point you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here to help 100% of the way. I know that this is a new experience for most of you. It's not like a normal psychology course. So I actually expect you all to have questions throughout the month. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And remember, the way you can get in touch with me is here under Meet Your Instructor. It's literally the very first thing on the platform. There's also a fun video about me when my hair was a little longer. So anyway, welcome to the class. I hope you enjoy it. Have a great month. I know this video was particularly long, but it's just because it's week 1. So weeks 2, 3, and 4, the videos will be a little bit shorter. I'll just talk about the quests for that week in those videos. So welcome to the class, and I hope you all enjoy.